And we're back with the latest episode of the Strictly Football Podcast. As usual, I'm Kiana Bossi, joined here by Gershom Zeller.
Good to be back.
And this episode, we're going to go over some transfers, Real Madrid's struggles, Messi's great form, Bayern's great form. Going to go over some games that could be interesting over the weekend. In the NFL, we're going to recap the crazy wild card round and go over some predictions for the divisional round.
Let's get into it.
So one main big transfer that has kind of sent shockwaves around the football world.
Oh, that's how we're starting it.
This is what we're going to go right into. We just dive right in cold. Is Coutinho transferring from Liverpool to Barcelona, becoming the second highest transfer in history.
I love the transfer. I love what it means for both teams. Mm-hmm. The one problem I have with it was Coutinho's way of handling it for the past 4 months.
Yeah.
It's been really, really shoddy with these sort of fake injuries that we saw in the summer.
It's not classy. You know, if you're going to play for a team, even if you don't want to be there, I think it's your obligation to the team and to the fans to give your 100%.
Yeah, especially for all that Liverpool has done for Coutinho.
They brought him up to
where he is.
If he didn't go to Liverpool, I don't know if he would be able to catch Barcelona's attention, worth 170 million.
But at the same time, obviously, all that Coutinho has done for the club as well.
Yep, 100%.
You know, he's been a big part of their team's performing well.
Success, yeah.
And their team's success throughout the past 4 years. So, you know, it would have been nice to have seen a more mutual respect between the two of them. But nevertheless, I think this means great things for Barcelona.
100%. You know, as a Madrid fan, we said it last week, I think, or I think we said it after the El Clasico, that this is, you know, officially wrapped up. But if you wanted to put some icing on the cake,
and
a ribbon on the bow, it's.
An interesting thing here with this one is that Coutinho can't play in the Champions League for Barcelona.
Correct, which is actually kind of bad because I think the one thing that they don't have locked up is the Copa del Rey and the Champions League.
It may actually, we'll see what Valverde does with his tactics and where he ends up playing Coutinho, but based off of the speculation coming from the camp, Coutinho will be taking on Iniesta's role. And I think what we're going to see is Iniesta being rested during league games.
And then played in the Champions League.
And playing in Champions League and Copa del Rey to allow Coutinho getting his minutes in.
I saw an interesting quote from Iniesta. He's like, I'm welcoming Felipe into the club, but many people have tried to take my place. He kind of, got kind of, you know, dodgy. He was like, a lot of people have tried to take my place at this club. Yeah. And look, I'm still here. Yeah. And I'm still starting. I'm 33, 34 years old, and I'm still the captain of this team.
I like that. A lot of older players, when they see the young guns come in, they don't want to invite that competition because a lot of older players know in the back of their minds that, yes, I'll lose to this younger buck. But I don't know, man. Andres Iniesta is still Andres Iniesta.
He's the definition of class.
He's the definition of class, and he still has it. By God, you know, last year, I had a lot of bad things to say about Iniesta. I thought he looked slow. I thought he wasn't the same player that he used to be. But this year, he's completely changing my mind. He's playing amazing football, so comfortable on the ball, and it allows for more athletic players that is now on the Barcelona side, like Paulinho, to make these darting runs forward, and Iniesta can find him any day of the week. Iniesta can find Messi. You know, Iniesta will always be able to connect the play. So we'll see if Coutinho even can be competition for
this.
Iniesta.
Was kind of a strange in my idea. I think it works out to Liverpool's favor a little better, I think. Because they got a lot of money.
They did.
They got a lot of money. They spent a lot of money on Van Dijk, but they got a lot of money
I think actually even the rest of the money is going towards the Naby Keita transfer. That is confirmed. It will happen
in the summer.
In the summer,
right.
At the end of the year.
But the one thing was, for Barcelona, why it was strange for me is like they already have this wrapped up. And he can't play in the Champions League anyway. Why go and dish out so much money right now when maybe in the summer you could get him for a lot cheaper?
Well, I also think another thing that's another point that's being brought up from within the camp is discontent with Dembele. You know, although he's been injured.
He just came back, though.
Yes, he's been injured for much of the season, but even when he wasn't injured, a lot of speculation was coming from the coaches saying that they weren't happy with his performances.
He wasn't, maybe, yeah.
And I have to say, whenever I watched him play, it seemed like he lacked confidence. He never really made any mistakes, but that also is a problem.
Because you want a young player. You want a young player to make mistakes, and you're fine with it because you're like, okay, everything for a young player is a learning experience.
Exactly. It would have been nice to see him go up against 3 defenders, try to take on 3 defenders.
When I watched the games that he was involved in early on in the season, I didn't notice him. And as a winger, that's not a good thing.
Exactly.
It's the best if you can't notice a defender.
Yes.
Because you only notice a right back or a left back or a center back when they make a mistake.
That's a good
point. If you don't notice a defender, then he's doing his job. But if you don't notice a winger, the guy who's supposed to be making the electric plays, setting up the goals, making the passes, then...
And that was never a problem with Neymar.
Never. I mean, yeah.
So I guess that also caused a lot of worry. And Philippe Coutinho is already very, very adept in that left wing role.
Right.
So I think that's another speculation.
But there's a lot of...
It might be for Dembele.
You think about it, I think the comparisons to Neymar kind of hindered Dembele. Did anybody expect him to jump into Barcelona and be as good as Neymar? I don't think so.
It takes time.
People were like,
20 years old.
He's the heir to Neymar. They gave him the number 11 shirt, this and that. They put him, they hyped him up so much. He's the second most at the time. He was the second most expensive player after Neymar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I think that kind of was to his detriment.
Yeah, for sure. But I think with time he'll get more comfortable. I'm not too worried about him. He still really is a class player, and he's fitting in a bit more. I saw towards the end of the Celta Vigo game during the week.
He came on.
Dembele came on. He was playing well.
Okay, well that's good to see. Not as a Real fan, but I guess as a football fan.
Yes, exactly.
But I mean, this season's done for us anyway. Another transfer that has been making waves is Alexis Sanchez's imminent departure from the Emirates. And so let me give some backstory on this. The Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil situation at Arsenal has been clear for most of the season that they don't like what's going on, the direction Arsene Wenger's taking the club. So
with their contract,
both their contracts are expiring at the end of the season, and they've made it clear that they want to leave. So Arsenal essentially has 2 options. Either sell them in January or play them the rest of the season and let them walk away for free in the summer.
Yeah.
What they've done with Mesut Ozil is they're still pretty confident that they can re-sign him.
Yeah, and there is still a chance for both players to re-sign, but it's looking a lot less likely
for Sanchez. Right. So that's why they kind of jumped ship from trying to re-sign Alexis Sanchez. And what's happened is for about a month now, it's been the name Manchester City has come up that they're one of the teams that can afford him. They're making Guardiola can has shown experience. He has experience with Sanchez at Barcelona.
Yeah,
and so. And they want to make that push for Champions League. They already have the league, but they want to make the push for Champions League.
For sure.
So, and they need rotation, especially with Jesus going down.
And I think Sanchez will 100% cement his position as a starter on that team, a star on that team. And that's something that they need as well.
And then this is, however, where the story gets a little cloudy. We hear a couple days ago that there is a mystery bid in for Alexis Sanchez. We don't know from what. There's a lot of speculation that it's PSG. Some people say it's Real. We don't know. But then it comes up that it's Pep Guardiola's friend across town in Jose Mourinho and Manchester United are actively tracking the status of Alexis Sanchez and how much Arsenal are willing to give him up for. And the way the story goes, Man City have backed out of the bidding war because it has reached a price that they are not willing to pay.
Wow.
Which means maybe that this is a very high price if Manchester City's not willing to pay it.
Yeah.
And it looks like in a few weeks we might still see Alexis Sanchez in red, but in Manchester.
Wow. I mean, that would be incredible for United. I think Alexis Sanchez would make more of an impact to United's side that really needs an injection of quality to especially to their attacking to their attacking side of the football. Man City, on the other hand, really, I wouldn't say doesn't need Alexis Sanchez, but it would be a bit much, no? To have Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling, who's playing amazing.
Well, let me tell you something about
Aguero, Jesus.
Yeah, that's true. But Sterling has been linked to Real Madrid.
Wow.
I don't know if you've heard about this.
I have not. I mean, he's lighting up the Premier League
exactly,
right now.
and he's young.
Yeah, still.
And we know how Real likes to go after the young Premier League stars.
Well, I have a problem with this one. I really don't think Real Madrid needs more talent to the side yet. I think it would be a mistake for them to buy a player in the January window when they don't really they're not even really able to identify what their problem is yet as a team.
I agree.
Because it's definitely not the coach, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not the defense, because I mean it is a world class defense with Varane, Ramos, Marcelo, and obviously the goalkeeper in the back is keeping things. Will always keep the net safe. I love Keylor Navas. Mm-hmm. The only real problem I see with the team is the attack, and even then, how can you say you're having a problematic attack when
you have Ronaldo and Gareth Bale?
Exactly. So they need to identify the problem, and they need to make changes at the end of the year.
I agree with that, and this is actually a perfect segue to our next topic, which was the struggles of Real Madrid this season. Because coming into the season, they hammered Barcelona twice in the Super Cup.
Yeah, they couldn't have come in with any higher spirits.
Everybody was playing well, both in the Camp Nou and the Bernabeu. They played great.
Yeah, confident at 1,000%.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "Wow, this team is
something else."
This like everybody, look out! These guys can take the treble.
With
their depth, their quality, their coach. They did it last year, but now they seem to be better. Mm-hmm. Like Asensio's fully forming, Isco's fully forming, all that.
Everything looked to be in their favor.
And then, all of a sudden, it's like they got slapped with like a raw piece of meat.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know what happened. And you said, you made a great point. And they shouldn't make any rash decisions right now.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a mistake. You're not going to win the league. Nothing you do right now in the transfer window, no matter how much money you spend, is going to bridge that divide of 18 points.
Yeah, right now it's insurmountable. Because Barcelona won't slip up.
Unless you literally go and buy Messi.
Yes.
And I think just Messi.
Maybe that'd be enough to dismantle Barcelona completely.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that Real could do that could make them win the title this year. But besides that, they drew in the Copa 2-2 over the week against the Segunda team.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Celta Vigo draw.
The Celta Vigo draw.
We had said it was before the game that they had to win this game.
And it was 2-2, and then Keylor Navas, it was 2-1 to Real Madrid.
Yes.
Keylor Navas saved the penalty.
However, they still let Celta Vigo get the equalizer.
They still got the equalizer, which is, is it the problem of closing out games, or there's so many issues you can look at.
That actually is a good point, because I've noticed that as the game goes on, Madrid looks less and less confident on the ball. It seems like
they start out strong,
more turnover.
They start out strong, but then that could definitely be an issue. But I don't know. The thing I think is that we're coming to the end of the Ronaldo era at Real Madrid.
Maybe so.
And as much as it pains me to say this, because he's done so much for the club, and he's definitely in terms of influences to Real Madrid, he's top 3 influences. I think up there with Raúl and Di Stefano.
Yeah.
I think Ronaldo, Raúl, and Di Stefano are the 3 faces of Real Madrid.
Yeah. No,
if you can choose 3 players of their history, it's those 3. They're 3 decades of dominance.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you have to be willing to accept that. That's the only thing. Because I watched this
Ronaldo's last year,
or
of
not
dominance?
the last and maybe it's time to. Maybe he's not the focal point anymore. He could still be a very important part of the team, but just not be the goal scoring guy. Maybe he takes on a different role. Like
I don't see that just doesn't add. No, but what other role can he take on?
Like when Suarez came into Barcelona,
yes.
Messi used to be the goal scorer. All of a sudden, Messi's picking out the passes. Messi's making the off the ball stuff.
Yeah, Messi's game did change, but I hear a lot of people saying this. But at the same time, Messi is still
no. Yeah, I'm not saying change it
at an incredible.
But like,
rate.
let me take this for example. In this game, this is Gareth Bale's first start.
Yes.
Back from injury after a while. I'm a big Gareth Bale is my favorite player on Real Madrid.
No, he's a great player.
Who's been hindered by injury. I think he could be a lot better right now if he hadn't had a few of the injuries he's had to his calf, his hamstring. Agree. He could be up there.
Like, I agree.
Because when he came over to Real, we were saying, it's Bale and Neymar. These guys are going to be the future of their teams.
100%.
I mean, both of such scenarios have changed, but in two different ways. Neymar, if he was still at Barcelona, he could still be the future of Barcelona.
He would have been.
He would have been. But Bale, he could still be the future.
Neymar was the future and the present
exactly,
at the same time.
Which is and Bale had the potential to be the same for Real.
Yes.
If the injuries, he's unlucky injuries, But regardless, he scored 2 goals in his return, 2 very good goals, one off the volley and then one off a great pass from Isco. But then they took him off for Asensio.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, why would you do that? He's hot right now. The game is tied. It's not like that's when they were winning and you bring on maybe a defender or a midfielder. You brought on Asensio.
Yeah.
Who in this formation usually plays maybe a false 9 position.
Yeah. Or who also, not to take any credit away from him, I also think Asensio is a wonderful player as well. I don't want to just have you bashing him. He's also really good.
No, definitely. That's not my point. I'm saying bring on Asensio. It's not my fault. Isn't with bringing on Asensio. It's with taking off Gareth Bale.
So you have a fault in Bale not getting the trust, not getting the nod.
Yeah, or maybe
you're the guy. You're our guy when the game is tied.
Right now,
there's only 20 minutes left.
He has 2 goals.
Yeah,
he's the hot man.
Yeah,
Ronaldo's ice cold.
Yeah,
Ronaldo and Bale have the same amount of league goals, and Bale has been injured for 3 months of the season.
You bring up great points. Here's the only problem I have is that every time analysts start talking bad about Ronaldo, he comes to show us what he's all about.
If this is what it takes, then let it happen. But that's all I'm saying is that Ronaldo is as inhuman as his performances have been. You got to be like, it's just not your game right now. You went out there, you did your best. You didn't really provide any chances for us. He didn't really put any shots on target. He didn't make any critical passes. He didn't make any runs where he drew defenders. And Bale did. He scored 2 goals. He obviously did something right. Sure. So why take that guy off and take the guy and keep the guy who hasn't done anything the whole game?
Well, he was also the guy who's won 5 Ballon d'Ors.
But if you take that game, if you cover their names up,
sure.
If you cover the names up.
It's hard. It really is a hard decision to make as a boss. And especially that because Bale has been injured so much, I can't fault Zidane for taking out Bale instead of Ronaldo because all it takes is one perfect pass for Ronaldo and he'll finish it. I really don't like speaking badly about him because I know any given week he can come out and score a hat trick and like it was the easiest thing he's ever done. So I can't say that Ronaldo should be taken off of his pedestal for Gareth Bale. I can't say that. I have to say that Gareth Bale needs to earn it, and it's going to take time. It's not going to be over 1 game or 2 games. It's going to take time for Bale to take that talisman position away from Ronaldo.
But I think that now with the league being over for Real Madrid, this is an interesting storyline to watch because we can't say, it's a title race. It's not a title race.
No.
And in, to be frank, almost any of the leagues, except, Serie A.
Yeah.
But you can say that, to keep things interesting for yourself, for our listeners, you can be like, what's going forward? And, Ronaldo's turning 33 this year.
Yeah, yeah.
And like we said at the beginning, I remember the first podcast we did.
Yes.
which was at the beginning of the season.
Will Ronaldo ever show signs of aging? That was the question, and we all said no. We said
he's going to continue, and because we've said this every year, and he just seems to get better and better and better.
Exactly. But maybe this is the year, and we've been saying that maybe this is the year, and maybe it's time to stop saying maybe.
Maybe it's time to. I think I think the year needs to finish.
I think this new year needs to end, so Real Madrid play well in the next year. Hopefully,
I think we can make that decision when the season's over, because there's still half a season left to be played of football. Yes. If Ronaldo can have that bad of a year, if there's two players who can have that bad of a first half of the season and turn it around and have an incredible second half of the season, you know who those two players are.
Of course.
So, maybe in the first half of this season showed that there is a kryptonite to his superpowers.
Sure.
But maybe he also comes out and he finds the antidote to it. You don't know.
Also, the antidote might be competition from Bale. That's something that Ronaldo also thrives off of. He doesn't like people talking down on his name.
Yeah, he wants to say he wants to be like, I'm still the number one guy.
Exactly. So maybe that's all he needs.
But there's also other factors in there where Benzema's not performing.
That's true.
Ramos is getting red cards and he's letting the team down.
Yeah.
A lot of things to watch out for. But across Spain, a team that's in flying form.
You head down south a little bit.
Let's go into...
You go to the region of Catalonia.
Yeah.
and you'll find the capital, Barcelona, where a little Argentinian man, just keeps on finding a way to create goals for his team, whether it be assists or goals, penalties, off of free kicks, set pieces. This guy gets it done. And of course, I'm talking about Lionel Messi. He's had two great performances in the past week. Over the weekend, Barcelona played Levante. No, over the weekend. Barcelona played Levante in La Liga. And they got a 3-0 win, easy as can be. A goal from Messi, a goal from Paulinho. Messi got an assist and a goal on that one. And I believe also Suarez had a goal on that one as well. And over the week, Barcelona played Celta Vigo in the second leg of this draw.
It was a tie in the first leg.
It was a tie in the first leg. We needed to get the win. And boy, did we get it. 4 goals scored in the first half.
Messi, in 15 minutes. 2 of those goals or 3 of those goals were in 15 minutes.
Exactly, yeah. 2 of those goals were in the first 15 minutes. It was both of Messi's goals were in the 13th and the 15th minute respectively.
There you go. Within 5 minutes of it. That's insane.
And in this game, you really were able to see the connection between Jordi Alba and Messi. Because Jordi Alba had both of the assists to Messi's 2 goals. And Messi had the assist to Jordi Alba's goal. Mm-hmm. All 3 of those goals were wonderful. And you really just see a chemistry there. And I think now that Neymar has left that left side, it leaves a lot of space open for Jordi Alba. Especially that in this new formation that Barcelona is running with only 2 strikers, Messi and Suarez, it really leaves that left side open and the right side open for our fullbacks to attack. That's why Sergio Roberto and Jordi Alba are leading assist makers on the team, tied with Messi. So I'm really, really excited by the connection there. I think Messi needs that connection with the fullback. He had that with Dani Alves. That's why Dani Alves is currently the second top assist leader in La Liga's entire history because of all those goals he was able to assist to Messi. Exactly. So it's really nice to see that Messi has a connection.
And then he'll get Coutinho in a couple weeks when he's back from injury.
Exactly. I think it's all systems go in Barcelona. Is there anything that you could point out? You can say they have a weakness.
It's hard because their offense is as potent as I would just say maybe it's the lack of production from Luis Suarez. He's
for sure. That's actually a really good point because you see him and something looks off.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't seem confident. He
doesn't seem confident, and I think a lot of that may have to do with age. We have to also remember.
Yeah, he's also 32, 33 years old too.
Exactly. So I mean, I think the new talent coming into the side is gonna eventually remedy that. I think Coutinho, Messi, Dembele might be an extremely potent front 3
and then
for next year.
So you say Suarez moves to maybe like a bench role, comes on in the 60th, 70th minute.
I personally think that this is Suarez's last year with Barcelona. I think
he gets traded.
I think he gets traded because we brought him into the team to be a goal scorer, and if he can't do that, then there's no point to have him there. Right. Because he's not horrible.
It's very Real Madrid mentality about it.
As of right now, yeah, it is.
You know?
It is. I'm not, and especially, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Suarez is not my favorite player.
Right. I mean, he has a lot of
faults,
character flaws,
and I'd be more than happy to see him leave our team. As good of a player as he was, and as great as all the things he did for Barcelona, I'd be happy to see him leave personally as a fan. However, it doesn't matter. I think he's gonna leave not based off what I want or what I don't want. I think he's gonna leave because of his performances, and he's not been performing up to par this season. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and even their defense, there hasn't been any real flaws.
That's why I didn't. Yeah,
and especially with Umtiti's injury, I thought there would be some problems.
No, but then Vermeulen's doing well.
Vermaelen stepped on. Mache had a great game.
Yep.
That won't be his farewell game for now. He's gonna have one more
great game
in the Camp Nou where we give Mache a nice farewell.
Okay,
which is very nice. He deserves it. It's
he's
very
been,
sad to see him leave.
Very good facet of your team.
For sure, yeah. Won a lot of trophies with us.
Yeah. Another team that's also doing great form is Bayern Munich under Jupp Heynckes, like we said. You know, it's the coach.
Yes. I thought this would happen. Muller has moved back into a number 9 role as well, which is really nice. You see him sometimes playing off of Lewandowski. And this past game against Bayer Leverkusen, where they won 3-1, he wasn't. He was playing as the sole striker.
Right.
And the whole team works well around him. That. Robin and Ribéry were playing well together on their preferred winger positions. Mm-hmm. And James Rodriguez
is coming to his own.
Finding a new form in Bayern. I think we saw this in the preseason, at least for me.
Yeah.
That he just looked confident. He looked like he wanted to take shots again from outside.
I think he was given some trust in this team.
Rightly so.
The trust can get you a lot of confidence, and it gets you going.
And if you do remember, it was Carlo Ancelotti who was the one who signed.
Got him in Real, and he got him in Bayern.
As well.
Albeit on a loan, but
nonetheless, a 2-year loan with the option to buy. So I think Bayern will be looking to take that option to buy, especially because I believe the price at 70 million
is relatively low.
That's relatively low, yeah.
I mean, because he had such a great 2014 World Cup.
Yeah,
everybody was high on James Rodriguez, and off that that one goal he had, which is still to this day one of the best goals I've seen him in my life with my eyes.
And his first year at Real Madrid wasn't half bad either. No, he played amazing, had some amazing goals as well.
Mm-hmm, great, a lot of assists.
It's just over time there was just too many mouses,
too many options. Yeah,
especially because Cristiano Ronaldo likes to have seconds and thirds at the dinner table.
Yeah. Looking over to the weekend and some games that are pretty good to watch. We have 2 games we're highlighting for you guys, both in the Premier League. Everton and Tottenham.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. The only real feature in this game that I'm looking forward to is how badly can Tottenham beat Everton.
Yeah, exactly. Because Everton is just, like we've said it before, you've said it, you've trademarked the term, that they suck the life out of
really every single game. Really. But to be fair, to give them some credit, they are showing signs of improvement. Mm-hmm. They are trying to switch up the lineups a little bit. Yeah. So I have to give credit to them. But Tottenham, I really want to see if they can put out a performance against Everton. Still is a good enough squad that a win
they
against
could
them
show
means
trouble.
something.
Yeah, they could.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's a meaningful win.
Exactly. This is a very good game.
Oh yeah.
Right here, we have Liverpool versus Manchester City on Sunday.
Yeah, this is the battle of the offenses. This is something I'm really
Mohamed
looking forward
Salah versus Kun Aguero.
Wow.
It's
Firmino
against De Bruyne.
Yeah, let's get it. This is
Klopp versus Guardiola.
No, I'm really looking forward to this one. Yeah, 2 offensive masterminds at the coaching position for each team respectively. Uh-huh. Really looking forward to this one. I think Liverpool needs to show that they can be a top club in England with all their new signings.
And without Coutinho.
And I think it's possible for them. I think they're going to qualify for Champions League next year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to actually really just improve as a team and as a whole. With all the money they have to improve their team, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do it. And it would be nice to start things off, this new Liverpool, as I see it.
The second...
With a win against City.
Coutinho. Yeah, definitely. I could see that happening. I'm looking forward to that game. Thankfully, it's not too early in the morning.
For us on the
Pacific Coast, it's at 9:30 on Sunday.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So that's nice to see. Because usually a lot of these good games go in...
4 in the morning. I have to wake up 4 in the morning to watch these
or record them and watch them later.
Yeah.
But the only game I would wake up for 4 in the morning is the one that we did wake up for at 4 in the morning. And that's El Clasico. And then I kind of wish I didn't wake up. Yeah. So that pretty much wraps up our world football part of the show. All right, now it's time to start looking at the NFL. And it was a pretty crazy wild card weekend. We had 2 major upsets.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans beat the Kansas City Chiefs to advance and play against the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I didn't see that one happening, but Mariota proved us wrong. We had a lot to say about him, Keon, if you remember.
We did, and he not only proved us wrong, he kind of shoved it back in our face.
Yeah, he really showed off while doing it. Like, I felt as if, when he threw his touchdown pass to himself.
He did everything. Like, there's nothing he didn't do that game. He rushed, he threw for touchdowns, and he received for touchdown. Like, think about that.
And I think the best play, my favorite play at least from
the
him,
last play
was the block.
It was the last, yeah, exactly.
Where they were running, the Titans were up by 1 point. They were running out the clock. Derrick Henry had a 2nd and long. And Marcus Mariota turned a play that would have resulted in a loss of yards.
And a fourth down.
And a 4th down because the linebacker was coming to tackle Derrick Henry. But, however, Mariota steps in, makes a key block, really, really key block, and lets Derrick Henry continue on and get a 1st down. It was really something to see.
Then they take the knee. Yeah, and then I think that just gives so much. If his teammates didn't respect him before this, they respect him now.
You saw them on the sideline, dapping him up, smacking his helmet, telling him, you get it, you go. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. Especially from a young quarterback, you need to earn your respect.
Yep. Definitely.
That was
some sort of maybe like a coming out party of the real Marcus Mariota.
However, he's going to have a really big test next week or in this upcoming match against the Patriots. How do you see him faring in that one? Huh?
I don't know. He could do it. And, I mean, I don't see anybody stopping the Patriots on their way to the Super Bowl. Personally, I think they're going to make it. Do I want to see them? Thanks for dropping gum on my table.
It's okay. It's not like it's stuck or anything. It could just hang out there. We don't have any PAs. We don't have anyone on the show to help out the talent. I'm not gonna throw away my own gum.
PAs, but what kind of budget do you think we have? We have PAs? We have no budget, bro.
Yeah.
We're recording this on a laptop in my room.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we have upped the ante a bit.
We got a new microphone. I don't know if you guys
shout out Puria. Thank you, Puria.
Yeah, thanks for our investors. But yeah, I don't want to see the Patriots get to the Super Bowl, but I think they will. So
you're predicting that they will beat the Titans?
Yeah, I think they'll beat the Tennessee Titans.
I agree. But I wouldn't say don't watch the game.
No, I'm not saying that.
I wouldn't say that this is just going to be an easy win for the Patriots because we've seen the Patriots struggle before in the year. Although they have been consistent throughout the year, their defense has not. You know what I mean? They had a shaky start to the season. They got a lot better. However, maybe there's something that Mariota can expose. It's one game. It's just one.
Yes, that's the thing
game.
about the NFL. That's what the thing is about the NFL playoffs rather than like the NBA or the MLB or the NHL playoffs.
Yeah,
or even some of like the Champions League.
Where it's two-leg draw.
2 leg. It's a single elimination.
Yeah,
you win or go home.
You win or you go home.
So that mentality kind of it changes you. I mean, look at. Looking at the NCAA tournament for basketball, March Madness, you see so many upsets there. Why do you think that? Because these smaller school teams are coming in, hey, we just need to win one game. It's not like we have to beat Duke on a 7-game series or we have to beat North Carolina on a 7-game series. Yeah. We just need to beat them once.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think we may have also gone a little bit ahead of ourselves because there's a couple more points I want to bring up.
Go for it.
From last week's wildcard game.
Yeah, no, definitely. We were not moving on to predicting or anything.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to highlight Derrick Henry's performance with no DeMarco Henry in the backfield. DeMarco Murray in the backfield.
Yeah.
And I think that really plays to his advantage. When he is the guy, he's the number one back. He's the one getting all the carries. He's the one getting third down carries. It works to his advantage because he beats down defenses. I've said this before. This is a 6'4", 230-pound back, Heisman winner coming out of Alabama. Is a great football player, a great running back, someone who can really run over a team, and someone who can carry a team, like he did for the Titans. Their comeback was really on Mariota's back, on his shoulders for sure. But Derrick Henry was really, really lighting up the rushing game in this one.
Yeah, totally.
Bruising.
It was a good game, though. It was interesting to see how they choked the Kansas City Chiefs because they were up.
Yeah, and they choked really hard.
Yeah, they were up.
I think this might be Alex Smith's last game.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. They're saying because you look at this offseason, there's some interesting free agents as well as like trades that could go on, and you look for teams who need a quarterback. There's a few teams that need a quarterback.
Well, Kansas City, I don't think is one of them.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why they can. That's why Alex Smith might go elsewhere. I think Kansas City's going to be, shopping him around, seeing maybe put him in as valuable. Yeah, exactly.
He's a bit old. I think.
No, but I'm saying like the Browns. The Browns would like to have him.
I don't know. I personally think that the Browns want to get a younger quarterback.
The Browns can't draft, though. They have a younger quarterback. They have DeShone Kizer. He led the league in interceptions.
Yes, he did lead the league in interceptions, but he also showed signs. It's hard for rookies to come in and just light up the league their rookie year, especially as a quarterback. It doesn't happen so often. So I don't think that we can, completely say that DeShone Kizer is going to be a bust. I think we have to give him a chance for next season. However, we digress. I think going back to the game and why Kansas City struggled later on in the game and why they choked, I think a lot of that had to do with Travis Kelce going down.
Yeah, that's true in the first half.
Because he really is their playing
engine.
He's their number one.
Yeah.
They don't like Tyreek Hill, great wide receiver, but Travis Kelce is the number one target on that team.
Oh yeah, he's so good. I think he's the second best tight end in the league.
And something that he excels in is he's a reliable third down target. He's somebody that the Kansas City Chiefs look for again and again in the third down. And we saw in this game when they had those long third downs, third and 6, 3rd and 8. Why they weren't able to convert those was because I think Travis Kelce was missing from the game. So, with the Chiefs, I think they just have to say that, okay, we got the loss. Look forward to next year. Next year, though, get Pat Mahomes working.
Yeah. So you think next year, just looking on to, I think we'll probably do this with all the teams that
got kicked out
this round, and next round we'll do it again with the next set of teams.
Sounds great.
Looking at next year for the Kansas City Chiefs, do you see where does this team need to get better? You look at the draft, you look at free agency. Do you see anywhere that they need to improve?
I think if they can keep the defense healthy, if they can keep Justin Houston out on the field, Marcus Peters, their defense is looking great. Mm-hmm. Offensively, they need another wide receiver next to Tyreek Hill. Somebody who you can trust.
Take it off Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
Exactly. You need one more weapon on that there. They need to also trust Kareem Hunt with the ball. You see games where he gets 11 carries, 13 carries, and every time I see that in the box score, I can already tell that Kansas City lost the game.
Because they didn't trust him enough.
I think he needs to get the ball a little bit more. He's a great player. He led the league in rushing.
Way too early prediction for next year for Kansas City. They still make it back to the playoffs as the champions of the AFC West.
I think so, too.
You don't see the Chargers or the Raiders or the Broncos beating them?
The only team out of those would be the Chargers. Mm-hmm. But we have to see. I really like the Chargers. I love their defense. But can Phillip Rivers do it next year?
But the Raiders with the new John Gruden head coach,
they're gonna need some time. Their defense is really shoddy.
Okay, fair play to that. So I guess look out for Kansas City to be in the same situation they were in this year.
But that all falls on Pat Mahomes again. Yeah, I really like.
Like I said, it's a way too early prediction.
Yeah.
Of next season. I mean, this season hasn't even ended.
But he's the one to talk about. He's the one to watch out for, Pat Mahomes.
All right. Moving on to the next game in the AFC, the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Buffalo Bills in a very boring game.
Unconvincing win from the Jags.
From Blake Bortles.
Yes.
Mr. I'm LeBron James.
Yeah, Mr. I'm LeBron James. I don't know. Blake Bortles. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Blake Fumbles.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, not LBJ. I'm not comparing him to LBJ, that's for sure. So, with the Jags moving forward now, I mean, you look back at that game, where did they struggle? It was making plays in the passing game. Blake Bortles was really able to salvage actually his team.
Through rushing.
Yeah, through rushing.
But it wasn't through his passing.
But it was really smart play. It was plays where he had no options, so he had to tuck in the ball and run, and he was able to get a couple first downs. So at the end of the day, I don't want to fault him too much, but he should have been able to do more against the Bills.
Yeah, but it was unconvincing, like you said. So I think that it's going to be pretty straightforward for Pittsburgh.
Well, here's the thing.
But there is a pothole. There is a pothole that can potentially derail Pittsburgh. And if they just, without Shazier, they're not a great defense.
Yeah.
If they can see Leonard Fournette can keep chugging, it's possible that, Jacksonville can find a way. But Jacksonville is a warm weather team from Florida going to Heinz Field, Pittsburgh in January.
Yeah.
This is Big Ben's element. This is his home.
It is.
He knows how to play.
It is. I mean, really, my standout feature from this game, for me personally, is it's a great offense, obviously, in the Steelers, going up against just as good of a defense, really.
Jalen Ramsey.
AJ Bouye. You got Calais Campbell. I mean, it's a great defense. I wonder if they can stop the Patriots. The Steelers. Because you've seen it before. You've seen great defenses stop great offenses before.
Yeah, Broncos did it to the Patriots?
Broncos did it to the Patriots.
In the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the Broncos did it to the Carolina Panthers as well.
In the Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You see it before. The Seahawks were able to do it when they won that 50 to something
against the Broncos.
Against the Broncos. Mm-hmm. That was the number one offense going against the number one defense. At the time. So yeah, you see that happening all the time. It's just, will it happen against AB, Le'Veon Bell, and Ben Roethlisberger at home? I don't know. Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to.
The next game from the wild card round was the New Orleans Saints beating the Carolina Panthers.
It was a much closer game than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
and it was really because of that one man we highlighted before the game, Cam Newton.
Yep,
he was able to do it. He was able to get the offense moving for the Carolina Panthers. Greg Olsen also had a great game. I have to shout him out. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough, Especially when Cam started taking a couple big hits in the fourth.
He did.
He just wasn't able to do it after that. So the Saints, they came out with the win in this one pretty convincingly. Not convincingly in a way that I'm trying to take anything away from the Panthers.
But I mean, we kind of expected this too. The Saints are. I mean, this is the third time they're playing each other, so they kind of know each other already.
It's true.
So, but it was a good win. It was really Drew Brees and company.
Drew Brees played amazingly.
Yeah,
and I think his 80-yard pass.
He had a great throw. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Was it Michael Thomas?
He used to also play for the Panthers. Now I'm just forgetting his name.
Yeah, but I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
But that was a great pass. Great. He had a great pass to a fellow, a person who went to our high school, Michael Thomas.
Yeah. Shout out Taft High School. As much of it pains me to shout out Taft High School, I actually hate that we're doing this. But yeah, Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas also had a great game. He was really a reliable target. Yeah. And you need to come up big in playoff games to cement your legacy, and he's beginning to do that.
He's a young wide receiver. He's good.
The first receiver to have over 200 plus catches in all your games,
in
preseason, off season, not off season, postseason, and regular season to have over 200 plus catches in your first two seasons. He's the first player to do that, more than OBJ. And
he's a good young
Jarvis Landry.
I mean, the Saints team is a good team to look out for in the future. But just Drew Brees is old. That's the only thing I can think about.
Yeah, but that's fixed by one draft. You pick up one guy or free agency. I mean, it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to look forward to because when somebody like Drew Brees leaves your team, all bets are off. You never know what's going to happen.
One quick thing. We forgot to talk about next year for the Buffalo Bills. They got knocked out, and just because we were about to talk about the next year for the Carolina Panthers, we'll just jump to the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills are easy.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be here next year.
No, and I think they're going to tank. I think they need to look to try to get
I think they're going to trade. I think they're going to trade Tyrod Taylor for a top pick.
Yes. Well, he's not even worth that anymore. Really, honestly, I don't think he's even worth that anymore. The Bills have devalued their own player. Right. The Bills have taken away from his value.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
No, but I don't think they're going to be here next year.
I don't think they'll be in the playoffs for a long time, actually.
Unfortunately. I mean, is it unfortunate? I don't know, but
for their fans,
for the Bills fans, they're very passionate.
Bills Mafia, I love you guys.
They're a very passionate group of supporters. And then the Carolina Panthers, they could be here next year.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if they fix some of their problems and if they add a couple more playmakers to the offense.
Maybe a receiver. They got rid of Calvin Benjamin.
Yes. Well, Devin Funchess, they really thought that he'd be able to be the one.
Right. But it didn't pan out the way they wanted.
That's not going to pan out. He's going to be a great 2 if they're able to find a one to pair with him along with.
Christian McCaffrey ended up being a very good draft pickup. He's a very great young receiving back.
Yeah, and I think the more and more trust he gets to run on the offense, he'll show that he can do that too. That's something that he was running in between tackles for Stanford as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see if they give him a little bit more trust for next year. Hopefully so. Because he's somebody who could have a great career.
Yeah, he could, especially the only thing is with running backs and the Carolina Panthers is that Cam Newton likes to take that responsibility onto himself as well.
True. So albeit less and less each year. Yeah. So we may see maybe a Cam Newton down the road that doesn't even rush anymore.
Right.
That's the trend, at least.
We're seeing that, yeah. The final game of the wild card weekend was the Atlanta Falcons beating the Los Angeles Rams. And spelling the end of this storybook Hollywood tale for the LA Rams.
Yeah, I mean, really impressive season.
Yeah, but Atlanta played a good game.
Atlanta played an amazing game. I mean, really, they were able to play the clock management correctly. Right. Because LA Rams like to get out there and shoot guns blazing.
Right.
They like to move their offense as quick as possible.
Yeah, but then they slowed them down.
But Atlanta slowed them down. Atlanta was amazing using their rushing attack. I mean, Devontae Freeman was out there running people over.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, though, I think Atlanta's special teams really got 2 takeaways from punts and kick returns.
Yeah.
And that ended up being
what's the opposite of the MVP for the game? Like, what's the least
flop of the game?
The least viable Cooper. Yeah, Farrah Cooper, really.
The Pro Bowl and All Pro returner.
I mean, you don't need to take it to the house, but at least catch the ball, my friend. At least don't fumble the ball. You know, if you're really a Pro Bowl, I mean, I think it had to be nerves. It had to be.
I think so. This team is a very young team. We say they have a lot of pieces in place. They have a potential coach of the year.
Yeah.
A potential MVP.
Well, really, in my opinion, coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
For sure. I mean,
potential
for what he did for that team.
Potential MVP. Potential defensive player of the year. And potential comeback player of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and they're all, this is Todd Gurley's 3rd season. Jared Goff's 2nd season. Aaron Donald's 4th season. Sean McVay's 1st season.
Yeah, I mean, looking forward
Cooper
to the
Kupp's
future.
First season. Like I'm saying, like next year, I think they're still going to be here.
Yes, looking forward to the future. There's no reason for LA fans to worry. There's no reason for the Rams organization to worry. The only thing that I could say that I saw from the game that worries me was that when the Los Angeles Rams needed Sammy Watkins to be the guy.
Yeah.
When it was 4th quarter, we were down a touchdown in
right
field
there.
goal.
He didn't get it.
Exactly. We needed him to get it.
Yeah.
It went right through his hands. So amazing throw.
I mean, it was a holding call, too. It was a holding call, but they didn't call it.
Because McVay didn't challenge the play.
Right, yeah. But that comes down to inexperience. This is everybody on this team.
But even then, Sammy Watkins got another chance when the game was a little bit more lost. However, the Rams got the ball back. And Jared Goff threw a 70-yard bomb
to Woods.
It was to Sammy Watkins again, and it went right through his hands. It went right through his hands. So both times where we needed him, he didn't come through. So
yeah, but where I get encouragement from this is in Jared Goff mainly.
Yeah,
Jared Goff played an exceptional game, showed us why he was the number 1 overall pick, and why LA should have faith in him as the future franchise quarterback for this team.
Yeah, for sure.
And everything, I mean, really, did Los Angeles Rams fans or City of Los Angeles, really, I don't expect anything out of this season. Nothing like this.
Yeah, nobody expected us the Rams to even get to the playoffs, So I agree wholeheartedly.
So it was a good season. We were disappointed, but
I mean, look at what the Atlanta Falcons were able to do.
Atlanta Falcons played a great game.
Matt Ryan was converting 3rd downs.
Yeah, it all just comes down to experience versus inexperience, I think.
I agree.
Matt Ryan, Devontae Freeman, Julio Jones, they were able to manage the clock.
Yeah.
They were able to see the crowd wasn't a factor for them. This was one thing that we didn't point out. 70,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
Of Rams fans.
Yeah.
This wasn't like other games where the Coliseum was split. This is 70,000 Rams fans in the Coliseum. That's an intimidating crowd.
Yeah.
So shout out, the people who showed up, but more importantly, the Atlanta Falcons and being able to
overcome
the noise and the and all that.
No, and defensively they were really good as well.
Yeah, Tack McKinley got a couple
sacks,
yeah.
Yeah, and their corners were playing well. I mean, Desmond Trufant, they were missing him in their previous Super Bowl run.
Right.
I think he's going to be someone who can be a big factor player for them moving forward in the playoffs. I really like him. So he's a shutdown corner. I love Desmond Trufant. Young player still as well.
Yeah. Okay, so now we'll move on to checking out the divisional round games. Starting in the AFC, you have like we mentioned before, the Tennessee Titans playing the Patriots in Foxborough.
Yeah, we went over this game pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
But didn't mean to do that. However, the point still stands. It's a game that you should watch.
Yeah.
For sure. I think
but it's a Patriots to lose.
Yeah, exactly. Titans can give the Patriots a run for their money, but it really is the Patriots' game to lose. At home in Foxborough, I expect them to take this one.
Yeah. Next game in Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, the Steelers take on the Jaguars. We also kind of talked about this a little bit when we said it's a juggernaut offense playing a juggernaut defense.
I think, exactly. It is a juggernaut offense playing against a juggernaut defense, so that puts a lot of pressure on Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars offense to get it done for them. If the Jaguars are going to win this game, it's not going to be because of their defense.
It has to be because of their offense. Because their defense is going to get the job done as much as they can.
100%.
And if they can't, it'll be because the Steelers are just that good. It won't be because of fault. Because they're such a good defense.
Really,
yeah,
100%. So the more onus will be put on Blake Bortles.
And Leonard Fournette. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it's not that bad for Jacksonville Jaguars fans to hear Blake Bortles saying he's like LeBron James. That sounds like a confident man. You're comparing yourself to LeBron James.
That is.
But it's confidence enough?
Yeah, it's confidence enough. You got to actually play like LeBron would in a clutch situation.
So let's see.
So yeah, and then moving on into the NFC.
However, I should say that I am actually picking the Steelers to win.
Yeah, same. So we're probably going to see a AFC title game, which involves the Steelers and the Patriots,
which is what a lot of people have predicted. Anyways.
And yeah, it seems because the AFC this year was just so bad. The Buffalo Bills made it to the playoffs, man. The Tennessee Titans made it to the playoffs without having a bad season.
Well put. Very articulate point there. No, it's very true. Very true. Very, very true.
So it wasn't too surprising. I think before, midway through the season, once we all started noticing that this conference isn't as strong as in previous years, that it's probably going to be the Patriots and the Steelers, and that prophecy is just playing out.
Yeah.
But the opposite of that has been the case in the NFC this year, where we had 6 teams make it the playoffs, and all 6 of them could have been Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, could have seen any of them go.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Alas, but 4 remain. In the first game, you have Nick Foles and the Philadelphia Eagles taking on Matty Ice and the Atlanta Falcons in Philadelphia in Lincoln Financial Field.
Man, I don't know if I even give Nick Foles and the Eagles half a chance in this one.
Yeah, I think that Atlanta's going to take it.
I mean, I really like this Atlanta side. They're a very strong side. I mean, offensively, of course, they have so many weapons that I think they'll be able to pick apart the Philadelphia defense. And I think on the defensive side of the ball, it'll put enough pressure on Nick Foles. We'll see what type of throws he throws.
And I think Nick Foles I think the buy is to the detriment of Nick Foles, to be honest with you.
He needed more time with that offense.
I think he needed more time to understand the offense.
In game, it's different.
Yeah, practice is not the same. So I think that's going to end up being them being the 1 seed and having the first round bye is going to be coming back to bite them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see, the Falcons. I think it's going to be a close game, just like the wild card game. But I say the Falcons go through. I think Matt Ryan is good enough, and he has more experience. We said this at the beginning of the playoffs, how Matt Ryan and Drew Brees are the only 2 quarterbacks in this NFC. And Cam Newton, but we didn't know Cam Newton was in at the time.
Oh, true, yes.
But those 2 are the ones who have the most playoff experience and successful playoff experience.
Exactly. And all 3 of them, of course, did make it to Super Bowls, play in Super Bowls.
And Drew Brees is the only one who won it. Which is a good segue into our next game. The Minnesota Vikings take on the New Orleans Saints in Minnesota. And this is if you're going to watch any of these games,
this is the one.
I say if you can only choose one game to watch this weekend, this is the one to watch on Saturday.
I mean, this Minnesota team, really, it's a Cinderella story. They came out of nowhere.
Case
Keenum especially. I mean,
all the other quarterbacks, bar Nick Foles, but Nick Foles didn't get the Eagles to where they are.
Yes.
Bar Nick Foles, every other quarterback is a franchise quarterback.
Elite level, yeah.
And Blake Bortles.
yeah, Nick Foles and Blake Bortles.
There's Nick Foles, the elite quarterbacks, and then there's Blake Bortles.
Yes, of course.
And then Case Keenum. So Case Keenum kind of came out of nowhere.
But the thing with Case Keenum, he may not have been an elite quarterback all his career. However, this year he's been putting up elite quarterback numbers.
And they have a good squad. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph on the offense.
Yeah. And they're playing at home, which of course is
big. That's a huge advantage. And that's a loud stadium.
It's a loud stadium, and they're comfortable there, obviously. And here's why
I think they have the best home record in the NFL.
And here's why it's an even bigger advantage.
7-1.
Because now Drew Brees and the Saints, who are notorious for having horrible home road splits.
Yeah.
Because Drew Brees is used to playing in a dome.
I mean, this is a dome as well, though.
It is.
Their stadium's a dome as well.
Okay.
But it's just an away dome. Okay. Because you think Minnesota in January is... Yeah. That's not the same as New Orleans dome.
Okay, they did get a new stadium a couple
years ago. And that's why the Super Bowl is being held there.
Oh, so that's amazing. Okay. Well, we'll see how that plays to Drew Brees' favor still.
Your prediction?
I'm taking the Saints in this one. I really think that, the Saints' strength lines up with the Minnesota strength. They both play very similar clock management style offenses, where they like to rush as much as they can and have check down passes or passes that gain you a few yards at a time. But I think that Drew Brees doesn't have to play like that, whereas Case Keenum is forced to play these check down passes.
Just because he's not as good a quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah. You saw Drew Brees throw 80-yard passes, the longest touchdown pass of the season for him.
Right.
So when he needs to, he can turn it on. And I think that would be the difference maker for the Saints in this one. That when they need Drew Brees, if they need Drew Brees, he'll be there
He'll show up.
Yeah.
But I beg to differ. I think the home field advantage is going to be too much. I think those Skol chants and the Vikings fans are going to be too loud for Drew Brees and a young Saints team. This Saints team is young too.
But all their rookies have been exceptional performers. I love how you bring that up because really, they have amazing rookies. They got Ramczyk on the offensive line, who's been playing amazing. Yeah. Kamara,
who's rookie of the year candidate.
Marshawn Lattimore,
great on the
defensive rookie of the year candidate. Yeah. I mean, really, really amazing players coming from this class for the Saints. So I think that even plays to their benefit a little bit. These guys have so much confidence, and their defense.
They do. They're playing with a lot of swagger.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see, but yeah, like we said, if you're gonna watch any game, this is the game to watch. So, final, you say it's gonna be. The conference games are going to be Pittsburgh and New England. You don't have a problem with that?
No problem with that.
You think Atlanta's also going to come out in the NFC Championship game?
I think Atlanta is going to play the Saints.
You think Atlanta and Saints, and then I think Atlanta and the Vikings.
Yeah.
All right. That pretty much concludes our episode. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Strictly Football Podcast. We had a great time predicting some weekend events, talking about some topics in world football. Join us again on Tuesday where we see if any of our predictions come true.
Yeah, and please remember to email us. Ken, if you could run them the email.
Yeah, it's the strictlyfootballpodcast@gmail.com. It'll also be in the description for you guys.
We love reading your emails. We'd love putting any suggestions you have into the show. This show, we make it for you guys. We say that every week, and it ain't no joke. So we hope that you, with that, have a great weekend. Enjoy the games on both sides of the world football, soccer and football. Have a great time, you guys. Peace.